If you could have a drink with anyone in the theater world, who would it be? I'm Anthony Caporale, and I'm running through my list. Each week, I'll sit down with cast members, bartenders, and personalities from New York's theater district and get a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like to live, work, and play on Broadway. Come have a drink with us on Broadway Bartender. Welcome to Broadway Bartender. My name is Anthony Caporale. We are here at New World Stages in the heart of the theater district in Times Square, home of my show, The Imbible, A Spirited History of Drinking. And this week we are talking about drinks with bubbles, and I think you're going to understand why when you see our special guest. But of course, if we're going to talk about drinks with bubbles, I'm going to go to sparkling wine, and specifically this week I'm going to be using Prosecco, but I want to talk a little bit about the origins of sparkling wine, because something most people don't realize is that all sparkling wine is actually not champagne. Champagne is a particular type made in the Champagne region of France, and there are some other things that you need to do to call it champagne. But sparkling wines include, obviously, champagne, cava from Spain, Prosecco, which is what we'll be using, from Italy, and then sparkling wines from around the world. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to call it a champagne cocktail, but it's actually, like I said, I'm going to be using Prosecco. But other than that, it's exactly the same. And this is a very, very classic recipe. And it starts with a sugar cube in the bottom of a champagne glass. And I'm just going to do 2 dashes of bitters right on top of the sugar cube. And already what I've done is I have some nice contrasting flavors. I have the sweetness of the sugar and the bitter from the bitters. And then I just top this up with my Prosecco. And you can see that it gives a beautiful, beautiful color to the drink. But it also is going to contribute flavor and complexity, because that sweetness and the bitter will be working for you in the glass. And Prosecco is actually fairly dry, which means it doesn't have a lot of sugar. So the sugar cube acts to sweeten it up just a little bit, make it a little more festive, a little bit more suitable for dessert. So we are serving this to our special guest this week, Melody Yang of the Gazillion Bubble Show, also playing right here in New World Stages. Literally, I can see your theater across the hall. So let me go ahead and get you one of these champagne cocktails, and then we can talk a little bit about the Gazillion Bubble Show and your history. I want to learn a little bit about you, and your family's history is fascinating. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
We can let that head settle before we try and drink it. So, Gazillion Bubble Show.
Yes.
Talk to me. I just saw it, so I know, but tell our viewers.
Well, there's so much in the show that you just don't expect. You know, you go to the show, you're like, oh, bubbles. You think it's something that's so simple, but then we've taken it to like a completely new level where it's like we've created like square bubbles and smoke bubbles and bubbles inside bubbles, and that's what you saw.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The square bubble blew my mind. I thought it was genius how you did that.
Yeah.
First of all, I have to tell you, I had a little bit of buyer skepticism when I walked in. I was like, okay, Gazillion Bubbles, that's a good name, but really? Within the first scene, I think you gave me a gazillion bubbles.
Yeah.
It was like, it was insane.
I know.
So what gave you the idea for the show? How did it start?
It started off actually by both my parents. My mother and my father, they were both performers in the beginning, and they started off doing like juggling acts, magic acts. They did a kung fu show. And then when my dad was younger, he loved bubbles. And he came across bubbles because his father had a friend that brought a bubble toy. And then from there, he started experimenting all different tricks with bubbles, and he would mix different solutions until he created a solution that was really good, that can actually, now that we have 17 Guinness World Records.
We have 17 Guinness World Records?
Yes.
All having to do with bubbles?
Of course, everything with bubbles. And some of them are actually somewhere we've done, and we've beaten other records, like our own records.
Really? So, and do you attribute this to, so it sounds like he's a bubble fluid chef almost, or scientist.
Scientist, that's what we call them, bubble scientists.
Do you attribute the ability to make so many bubbles in so many different ways to this proprietary formula that he created?
Yeah, for sure.
That's unbelievable. Can people buy it, or is this only like...
No, we sell it. It's actually, our brand is Gazillion.
Okay.
So you can see it in stores. It's seasonal. Sometimes we have it in Walmart. Sometimes we've got it in Target and stuff like that. But the recipe of the solution is the reason why the show is what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I want to get back to that, but I do have to tell you, though, this is honest to God. We use bubbles in one of the numbers in our show for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And we went through, I am not kidding, a dozen bubble guns. Couldn't find any that worked or lasted. We moved here to New World Stages, went across the street, bought one of yours. It's been amazing every single performance. So whatever you guys are doing obviously works. So now the show, for people who might not be familiar with the show, what can they expect to see?
Well, when you come to the show, you can definitely expect to be blasted with bubbles. I mean, we fill the entire theater with bubbles, all different kinds of smoke bubbles, clear bubbles, large, like really, really large bubbles throughout the entire theater. But we have a bubble laser effect segment where you see me manipulating the laser with the bubbles, and it seems like an entire storm of bubbles and lasers. It's like people go crazy.
It was actually one of my favorite parts of an amazing show. I don't know how the choreography, how you got it so tight, but it actually looks like you're controlling and handling and carrying laser beams. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I love it.
How long did it take you to learn that?
Oh, that took me, I mean, after a while, it probably took me 3 months to kind of get it down on pat. But yeah, about 3 months. My brother, actually, he was the one that choreographed it.
I was literally just going to ask you, so it all stays within the family?
Yes, it's myself, my father, my mother, my brother, and we have our uncle. So 5 of us.
So now, it seems on the surface of it that this would be a kid's show, and I did notice a fair number of children in the audience. But I got to tell you, as an adult, and my background is actually engineering, and I was fascinated by what you were able to do. I mean, do you often get the reaction that the parents are just as enthralled as, I mean, do you get adults coming to the show on their own?
Oh, like all the time. We get adults, we get seniors. It's honestly, it's a show for everyone. But of course, when people think bubbles, it's more targeted towards kids and families, which is fair. But we get all different age groups, and sometimes we've had people come to our show and do like proposals at our show. You know, it's interesting.
Did you ever put an engagement ring in a bubble?
I think we have, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. So how long has it been running now?
We've been running for 10 years. We actually just came up with our 10-year anniversary. We were supposed to be here for 2 weeks, and then it turns out we ended up keeping the show, extending it, and now we've been here for 10 years and we're still going. And
it started right here in New World Stages?
It started at New World Stages, yes.
And it was supposed to be a 2-week run?
Yes.
And then it's 10 years. All right, well, we want to follow that. The Bible actually was supposed to run for 2 weeks, 5 performances, and now we're going on our 3rd year. We got a long way to go, but we're going to follow that model. So tell me, you work with kids, obviously. You must have some stories.
Oh, gosh. I do. I mean, that's probably one of the most difficult part is dealing with the kids, but it's the most fun part because it's so spontaneous. You know, you don't know what to expect. I mean, I've had kids running backstage, and then we had to like chase them backstage to bring them back on stage because they just go nuts. When they see bubbles, they just don't know what to do. You know, but it's that reaction that we love because it's a surprise. It's something that you don't see.
So this is very different from a standard performer who gets up on stage, recites the same lines with the same blocking every night. How did you learn how to be so spontaneous and still deliver consistent quality performance?
I think after a while you go through bad experiences to get the good experiences. But I mean, I've had my fair share of stories where like I just didn't know what to do. But then after a while you pick up on that and then you start to understand that it's not just you on stage. It's when you bring someone else, it's all about them, you know? That's why the show is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated by the fact that your parents started the show. How many members of the family are actually performing now?
Right now, it's all of us.
The whole family? We
all do the show, but New York is like our home base.
Okay.
And then we do it internationally as well. And my dad right now, he's working in a theme park business in Asia. Bubble theme park. And so
does he travel only?
He travels. My brother also travels. Like we have the show sometimes in Los Angeles. We're doing the show in San Diego and Orlando now too.
Is it the same show that people would see here?
Here, it's slightly different. It's adjusted to fit their venue,
Right.
you know. But that's what's good about our show. It's that it's adaptable.
So even if you've seen it maybe somewhere else, it's come see it in New York. Come see the mothership.
Yeah, New York is the original.
So what I was going to say, what's amazing to me is that, okay, so you have your parents starting the show. This is sort of a niche thing, right? I mean, you created this whole idea of using bubbles as a centerpiece of an entertainment property, right? I would imagine that there would be a high probability that some of at least the kids would have said, nah, maybe I want to be a doctor or something like that, right? Or I don't necessarily want to be a performer. Were you just born with this? I mean, tell me about how you started and what your first performance experience was.
I started when I was 3. Me and my brother, I remember when we were young, we would always watch our dad play with bubbles and mix different stuff. And we were like, we want to try it. We want to do it. And he's like, you can't do it. And we're like, we can. You know, and then it was just a test for him.
So he did that on purpose?
Yeah, he did. And then after he started to teach us a routine, and then from there he's like, oh, don't worry, just play with it and go with it. And that's when he started putting us in like little talent shows, and then we started working on like different galas and events, and then we worked in the circus at one point, you know, and from there it was me and my brother first, and then that's when we split up when we were probably in our teens. And we started doing our own separate shows.
So are those different, your and your brother's show?
It's not, I mean, it's different because we're different. We have our own technique and we have our own character, you know, of who we are when we're doing the performance. But a lot of the tricks some of them are the same, but we have our own tricks too.
Because I know, like magicians, that's a big thing, right? It's like you develop a trick and that's your thing. So you guys do that. You have your own stuff that you like. So you have like R&D time that you like try and come up with new bubble tricks. You actually do that?
We do sometimes, but sometimes we come up with it during on stage. Like we'll figure it out and we take it and we go with that. But yeah, it's fun.
So tell me about these Guinness Book of World Records that you have.
Right now, I've got 2 Guinness World Records. Well, I have 3.
Personal, yours, that are like you?
It's with the family.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of them was the world's largest bubble. And
how big, I gotta ask?
It was 170 feet long in length. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We called it what, the Great Bubble Wall, because we did it in Beijing, China. And the bubble had to last probably at least, I think it was about 6 or 7 seconds for it to be considered a Guinness record.
Right.
But just to construct something so big like that, it was challenging. But we had to construct in a way where we have different layers of bubbles. So if one was to pop, it had a backup. You know?
Within the same bubble, like different walls?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You had like redundancy? So like your bubbles are like more robust than the Titanic, let's say.
Yeah, so
that's unbelievable. Now, but where did you do something like that? Because I imagine, so first of all, 170 feet, I'm not a big sports guy, but that's like more than half a football field. But I'm guessing outside is not going to work, right?
No, we had to find like a warehouse and do that indoors. If we do it outside, it's unpredictable with the weather and the environment. And that's the thing about bubbles. I mean, you don't know what to expect based on the environment or if you've mixed the solution right. So that's why we have to make sure when we go somewhere, we have to test out the air. If it's dusty, we have to make sure the place is clean. You know, we have to make sure we use the right water. You know, because it's really important, because if we use just like tap water, sometimes it's not good because they have certain chemicals in the water. So we'll use distilled water or sometimes mineralized water, and it helps it so much more.
You guys are scientists. This is amazing to me. Wow. And so do you mix up the bubble solution? Is that what I should call it? Fresh every show? Is that like something that you guys do?
It's fresh every show. The ones that we use on stage, it has to be fresh every show.
Really?
Yeah.
So I don't want to ask this question because I hate when people do, but I just have to. Like, can you tell me an example of like when something just went like crazy wrong or just crazy right that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I mean, there's times where, man, it's like when there's like a gust of wind, I'm making a trick and it just blows into the audience. But people, they don't realize it. Everyone wants to pop the bubble anyway. But
and they don't know what you were trying to do anyway, as long as they end up with
but
bubbles.
It works out in the end.
That's amazing. So now, okay, so you start off very young. How old were you the first time you were performing?
The first time I performed was, I think I was about 3 years old.
Get
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was 3 years old.
I don't know if I was talking at 3 years old.
Yeah.
And was it Bubbles or was it something else?
It was Bubbles. It was Bubbles. I remember I did it in Italy in the Rai Uno TV show, and I didn't know what I was doing. I went on stage, and me and my brother, we were doing the performance, but it was more like we were playing on stage. We didn't really care whether there was an audience or whatever, but I mean, 3 years old, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Think about
So,
that.
by the way, cheers. Thank you
Cheers.
so much for coming.
Thank you.
So you're a performer from the age of 3. Are you doing anything other than the Gazillion Bubble Show in the performance world?
I am. Well, I am doing. I've been doing a lot of acting gigs. I just did Mozart in the Jungle.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really cool. And it had to do with bubbles, of course.
Of course.
Because everybody wants bubbles
Right.
every time. But yeah, I've been doing that a lot. More so, I mean, I'm a huge fan. I'm like a huge adrenaline junkie.
Like what?
Like I love skydiving. I go scuba diving. I mean, I love extreme sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you
Yeah.
come home and make bubbles for kids.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Do you
Yeah.
have like a motorcycle or something like that?
No,
or?
I don't. But I want to get my license for that. This year, I plan to get my license for skydiving to
Okay.
go solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and my brother, because we love that stuff, and we eventually probably one day want to climb Mount Everest. Yeah, but it takes 6 months of training.
Yeah, and people die when they do that.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, good. I've been skydiving twice, and I felt like the first time I was like, this is cool, but it doesn't really count until I do it again. And then I did it again. They actually let me pull the ripcord.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm done. Box check. That's all I need to do. And so I haven't been since. Okay, so I got to ask you.
Yep.
Can you make some bubbles for us?
Yes, I can.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's start with just our simple tricks. So the thing is with bubbles, to put a bubble inside a bubble, you have to know how to blow inside the bubble. You can't just blow a stream of air. You have to do it in like bullets, like. You know what I mean?
No, can I try?
Try it, yeah, go for it. You got it.
That's awesome. Okay.
And pop the top.
Pop the top?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Okay, that's awesome. That's like hardcore physics.
It is. And with bubbles, it's like, we manipulate the bubbles, but still, you can't fully control it.
Holy cow. It's literally a bowl full of bubbles. Now, when you're doing that, that was just pop, 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 pop. It's like playing an instrument.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Let's do some, I want to show you a smoke bubble.
Yeah, cool. Whoa.
It's heavy right now.
Now, what are you using? This is just smoke from like
This is, it's just like a water-based kind of
Like a fog machine
oiled
kind of
fog
thing?
machine. Yeah, it's very light. It's like, you know how people have vaporizers?
Yeah.
And it's just like the oil that they use? It's almost like that, but it's like non-toxic, nothing.
I'm guessing that was the whole thing, is picking the right smoke too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you use a smoke that's too thick, then it gets heavy, and then it's harder to control the bubbles. Like the bubbles actually will droop.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all science. And people, they don't. I don't know. I love the idea of it because it's it's something you really don't expect.
Right.
You know.
Oh my, this is like sculpture. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you're literally like building sculpture with soap film.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that fascinates me about it is that the geometry just kind of happens, right? It's all about just spheres and surface tension. And it just
Yeah.
kind of does what it wants to do. It's a machine, Melody. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's cool.
Holy cow. Wow. Now you put things in bubbles too, right? Like audience members and stuff?
I put people in bubbles. We have a Guinness record for the world's largest land mammal in a bubble.
What was the world's largest land mammal?
It was an elephant.
You put an elephant in a bubble?
Yeah, we had an elephant in a bubble. The elephant loved it.
Really?
Really, he loved it.
I don't know why I can imagine elephants enjoying that.
It was cool.
All right, so I got to ask you, if I make another drink, can we try and put that in a bubble?
Yeah, we'll try it.
All right, let's see what happens, knowing that this is unpredictable. So this whole, did you like make all this stuff? Like, where did all this come from? Like, can I buy this or?
Yeah, this actually, we have it at our show. I mean, you come to the show, we have this exact same, tray and everything.
And the bubble solution, all that stuff, and you can try and do all the stuff at home?
Yeah, you can do it at home.
Well, I don't know if you can do it, you can try and do it.
You can try.
All right, so why don't you come over here?
All right.
Come over on here. You want to make a drink?
Oh, sure,
Yeah,
why not?
let's make a drink.
Let's do it.
So we're gonna do super easy. Let's do a variation on mimosa. But let's go ahead and we'll use Prosecco again,
Okay.
and we'll use blood orange juice to make it a little more fun.
All right.
And so why don't you just fill up that glass about halfway with the Prosecco. So yeah, that's perfect. Just
Okay.
yeah, and then the same in the other one. And then we're just gonna do equal parts of orange juice. So you wanna fill it up right to about here. Now the cool thing about when you're making drinks in champagne flutes is you never wanna fill it all the way.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, and just go ahead and pour that right in. The idea behind the champagne flute is that the bubbles are going to drive, you can go a little bit more than that, maybe like right there.
Okay.
The bubbles are gonna drive all the flavor and the aromas up to the top where they'll pop, and then the glass will contain it. So when you go to drink it, it's gonna direct it right into your nose, because as I'm sure you're aware, bubbles carry and contain gases, and they can contain stuff like smoke and also aromas and flavors. Cool? All right, so why don't we taste this real quick?
Yeah.
So thank you so much. This is fascinating to me. I can't even tell you. And let's see if we can put this in a bubble. Ah, great brunch drink.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, so what do you want? What can I do with this?
Let me try it.
Just put it there?
I'm gonna make the bubble first.
Okay.
So, let's see if it works.
I love how that's just so easy for you. When I have a bubble wand, it takes me like 10 times.
Let's see. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Might need a bigger tray for this. I don't know. So. Yeah, that's gonna be.
It's just too.
It's too tall.
The thing is too tall.
Yeah.
All right, so wait, don't go anywhere.
Oh,
We're gonna put a drink in a bubble.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, that
Let's
works.
try that. Okay, now I'm happy. That is awesome. Melody, thank you so much. I can't even tell you how happy I am for you to have joined us here at Broadway Bartender. Please check out Gazillion Bubble Show. The website is?
It's GazillionBubbleShow.com.
Great, and we'll have all the information on our blog, BroadwayBartender.com. You can also get the drink recipes. You'll get a little blurb on sparkling wine, so you can check that out. And of course, information on the Imbible. Folks, drink safe, enjoy life. See you next week.
Cheers. Nice.
So can you put a drink or a bubble on the drink?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. All right, that's the coolest thing ever. That is the best garnish I have ever seen. That's incredible. Now, if you pop it, what's gonna happen?
Let's see.
Oh, that's
They should make drinks like this.
I am going to make drinks like this.